Hey guys, I'm Handy2 Dandy here, my first video. I thought I'd kick things off with a deck list for you. This is a deck I built for this format and tested out a couple of days ago at my locals. It worked out pretty well, so I thought I'd put it up onto YouTube and see what you guys thought. So yeah, I'll quickly skim through the deck list and then I'll go back through and explain some of the cards, my personal choices and what the general gist of the deck is. But yeah, anyway, here's the deck list. It's anti-meta gadgets or doom cal gadgets or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of a mixture of both in some respects, I guess. But yeah, got Gauze, Treg, 3 green, 3 red and 3 yellow. I've got 3 Cyber Dragon, 3 DD Warrior Lady, 2 Doom Cal, 1 Neospatian, a Gale, 3 Smashing, 3 Fissure, Dark Hole, Limiter Removal, Monster Reborn, 2 MSTs. 2 compulsories, 2 deep prisons, torrential, 2 bottomless, a royal oppression and a solemn. For the extra deck I've got Armory Arm, Catastor, Android, Go-Yo, Flambeau Euroquizaz, Black Rose, 2 Stardusts, Red Dragon Archfiend, Allied Justice, Light Gazer, Colossal and the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Right, so that was the general deck there for you. Now I'm going to go through some of my personal choices and try and explain what I tried to build this deck to do and what it did do at my locals on Wednesday. So yeah, the main aspect of the deck is the 3 Cyber Dragons. Because of the setting decks that are out now, like Dandy Warrior, Flamcat apparently, well not Flamcat, but some Flam variants are meant to be coming back. There's Sabers. There's some other setting decks that are out there as well, and basically if I went second and they set a monster, set a few back row, they're in quite a strong position. So Cyber Dragon allows me to try and pull apart their play by getting 2 monsters out in my first turn, and then I've got one of these monsters here to deal with that defense position monster no matter what it is. So they won't get the effect off, they won't get the advantage that they're trying to get from that play. So then if it successfully goes through, one of these monsters here will deal with a face down. I'll have to swing for an instant 2-1, which puts me in a great position, a strong field, and I can set some back row of my own, which is flipped on my opponent. And obviously with gadgets, if you do get to go first, you usually open with a gadget and then set some cards to then gain the advantage on your next turn. So that's the general gist of my deck. It's basically abusing the Cyber Dragon that they've put back at 3, along with some of the strong cards that I think would be pretty good this format for the setting. So that's pretty much what my deck is supposed to do, was built to do, and it did it very well on Wednesday. I beat X-Sabers, I beat Dandy Warrior, and I beat Frog Monarch, and I can't remember. The other deck was just a weird random warrior deck, but it did really well. And then for the spell lineup, I'm trying to continue that. I've got my limiter removal. I'm quite shocked they didn't ban this, but because they didn't, I'm going to run it with the 3 Cybers and the 9 gadgets. This can allow me to push for game quite a lot. I've pushed for game quite a few times with this. Obviously the Dark Hole's back, so it's gadgets. We like 1-for-1 destruction, but Dark Hole, might as well have it in there. It's a really good card. And for the 1-for-1 destruction, I've got the Smashings and the Fissures. I don't run the Hammer Shot because I couldn't fit it in. And with this format, I don't know. I've never really seen a monster bigger than Cyber Dragon usually, unless it's a Stardust or a Monarch, which I suppose Hammer Shot would help against a Monarch. Obviously Monster Reborn. I think pretty much every deck's going to be running this now. And then the 2 MSTs. And again, to allow me to, if I go first, play for a setup, I've got the compulsories if they go to set, the Raikou, the Dark Soul, Emma's Blade, Dandelion, whatever they plan on setting, the hamsters, doesn't matter. Compulsory can get rid of that and then allow me to start pulling the play apart again. Then I've got the Dim Prisons, which are kind of staples in gadgets. I only run 2 instead of 3. I've teched it, it's done really well. And I've got the staple traps, the torrential and the 2 bottomless. 1 royal oppression. I understand that there's like MST and dust tornadoes around, and royal oppression won't last long, but it can save me for that one time it does get to activate. I mean, it might just last a turn, but that one turn it could save me, and it did. So I'm keeping Royal Oppression in at the minute, and then I've got one Solemn, which is kind of a control variant deck, so Solemn's really good. And for my tuner, I've obviously got Gale instead of running Plague. I don't like Plague in the Gadget deck. I've heard it works okay, but I just don't like it personally, so I like Gale, and Gale's a nice one to get over Stardust. So yeah, my synchros lineup was a bit messed up because I left the game a couple of months ago, and I've come back and I got rid of my Bryanek, so I've had to just build a weird synchro deck. This face down card is obviously meant to be another Black Rose, but I don't have one yet, so it's just there. This, I don't know what this is going to be yet. For my locals, it was Scrap Dragon. Never used it, but at the minute I'm not quite sure. Then I've got the Chimera Tech, and this is obviously going to be another Chimera Tech, but again I don't have that yet. So for my locals I used Ancient Fairy Dragon and another Ancient Fairy Dragon, just in case I need to throw out a big beefy defense. But yeah, that's generally the deck, generally what it's meant to do. For my side deck pretty much worked really well. I have 3 Vanish of the Radiance, which I'm totally considering main decking because I sided them in against nearly every matchup I had. So I really like these. They really just slaughtered X-Saber. So I'm considering maining. I had 2 Dimensional Fissures, which will be leaving my side deck because they never really got used because those guys went in and I couldn't find room for these. So I'm probably going to take them out. I've got 1 Soul Release, which I put in against X-Sabers and Infernity. So it was good. I want Frog Monarch obviously, but yeah. Now I've got 1 Lightning Vortex. Just for them Swarm decks, you know, Light Swarm are meant to be making a comeback because of the Pot of Dualities. They could do some weird stuff with that. So Infernities as well can still swarm, and you know, any other deck out there, X-Sabers obviously. 2 Summon Limit, which I love. The first X-Saber game I played, he FTK'd me. The second one he went to do it again, but I Summon Limited him, and that was it. He had to end this turn. He had nothing to do, and second turn he set a card, and I checked his grave and it looked like he set Gothams. So I set my own Gothams, and when he activated his, I chained, and that was it. I took control of the game from then on. He pretty much just gave up, but he carried on playing anyway, but he just wasn't making sensible moves, like summoning Dark Soul in attack mode and that weird kind of stuff. But yeah, I've got 2 Gothams in there anyway. 2 Trap Holes for if I had to play against another anti-meta deck, because obviously anti-meta v anti-meta. Theirs is going to be a bit bigger than mine on some respects. With the gadgets, they use some of our anti-metas run the big 1/9 stuff on 2K stuff, so I thought I'd put in the Trap Holes just in case I had to fight something that was too big. And I've got the 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors, which will probably again be coming out. I didn't really side them in against anything because I used the Summon Limits and the Gothams and stuff, and against Infernity I just Vanishes, the Summon Limits. I didn't really need much else. Soul Release and Lightning Vortex. I couldn't fit in anything else, so they'll probably come out, and so will they, just to try in something else. But yeah, that's a deck there for you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. And yeah, peace out.